In 2024, Haley, Isla and I embarked on an incredible 7-week journey across both the United States of America and Canada. This trip would have us explore 8 unbelievably diverse states, board 11 flights, stay in countless hotels, and drive more than 5,000 kilometres on the wrong side of the road. The landscape spanned between alpine glaciers in the Canadian Rockies, down through ancient volcanic regions in Washington and Oregon, to walking with the towering giants of the Californian Redwoods, before venturing into the unforgiving deserts of Nevada, Utah, and Arizona. Not to mention visiting some of the most iconic cities and attractions in the country. For us, this was nothing short of an epic journey in our lives, which words, photos, or even this footage cannot do the justice it deserves. But amazing as these jaw-dropping locations were, the most memorable parts of the trip were spending time with our much-loved American and Canadian family and friends. There's something about sharing special moments with the people you love that brings depth to a relationship that's hard to replicate in everyday life. It can bring you so much closer to one another, regardless of the distance or time that separates you. Before we set off in 2024, we headed over to Victoria for a couple of weeks to catch up with the family and drop off the dogs. Randomly while we were there, we headed to Melbourne to check out the Jurassic World exhibition, as Isla's been obsessed with dinosaurs for the past 12 months and cannot get enough of them. Growing up with Jurassic Park in its prime, this was honestly pretty cool to see as a grown adult, and there was a lot of them there, so I didn't feel so bad enjoying it. However, it was maybe a tad too much for a 3-year-old, as it scared the crap out of Isla and her cousin. But she's still obsessed with T-Rexes, so it can't have been too traumatic. He's not going to get us, he's not real. It's alright, have a look.
Away from it! The T-Rex is down the street. The T-Rex is right at her. So we don't get out so the kids scare me.
After that excitement, we headed to the airport and jumped on a plane to start our 7-week expedition with our 3-year-old daughter in tow. We stopped over in Auckland and LA before finally landing in San Francisco and being greeted by Haley's sister Kylie, which was an absolute treat for sore eyes. She's been living in the States for almost 20 years and will be our host in between trips. First on the menu was the Golden Gate Bridge, and honestly, it was quite a moment for myself driving over it for the first time. Standing at the base of it and having that first real American hot diggity dog land in my hand is when it really sunk in that we're actually in the States. No, that person is not driving the car, and yes, it's AI. People are actually paying for a random computer linked to a satellite orbiting the Earth to hopefully get them home safely, all because they don't want to make eye contact with someone. It's total madness and society is doomed. And rad. From there, we headed back to her beautiful new hometown in Napa to meet up with her amazing wife Holly for my first time on her own home soil. We used that place as a base throughout our holiday to come back and forth, spend time with them, and take a breather. They could not have been more accommodating during our entire holiday, and there's really no way to thank them enough for their hospitality throughout our stay. They left a huge impression on us during this time, and to this day, Isla's still asking when we're going back to visit her auntie's house, like it's just around the corner. Napa itself is a stunning little historic town that is located in the Bay Area. It's a world-renowned wine region right alongside Sonoma, and produces some of the finest adult grape juices on the planet. The whole area is a beautiful palette of stunning vineyards scattered through the hillsides, with a splash of 19th and 20th century architecture to tie off its vibe. When I first laid eyes on a classic American house driving into Napa, all I could see was the scene from a horror movie. Roaming the streets made me feel like I just walked onto a Hollywood movie set, or even a game of Sims from back in the day. They just have so much class, elegance and charm. I don't know how to really describe it. All I know is I instantly fell in love with them, and I get the appeal. I could easily see myself living in a place like this. It's absolutely gorgeous. Next, we headed over to Sonoma to visit the infamous Traintown Railroad. Now seriously, this place is incredible. It opened in the late 60s by a local and is now run by the family. The entire town is an overly accurate scale model of a railroad, with electric trains, steam engines, several rides including a carousel, Ferris wheel, pirate ship, aeroplane, roller coaster, petting zoo, and a mega train cruise through 10 acres of awesomeness. Something about this place really got to me, and I'd safely say I'd prefer to take my young child to this joint over Disneyland. The effort that's gone into everything is second to none, and well worth the free entry. After we spent a couple of days relaxing in Napa, the girls organised a nice cruisy road trip to their favourite place at Lake Tahoe. We stayed in a gorgeous log cabin that was tucked away in some amazing pine trees on the shore of the lake, complete with electrified fences that were allegedly used to keep those cuddly black bears away, yet again set the horror movie vibes. Regardless, this was an amazing place and really blew us all away. To top it all off, this was just a short walk from a private beach on the lake, which we certainly got our fair share of use out of. See where I said I could not thank them enough? can't take these dogs seriously. They're just the cutest things out.
Yeah, it's funny.
Aside from sitting at the beach, drinking off our jet lag for 90% of our time, we did drag ourselves down to Emerald Bay and soaked up some of the stellar views. Lake Tahoe is really something else. It's so much grander than I pictured, and with loads to see. We only stayed a couple of nights, but it certainly left an impression on us and set the tone for the rest of our trip. Come on, hop up. Even though our countries are so similar in so many ways, it still doesn't prepare you enough for when things pop up that you've only ever seen on TV. Like fire hydrants, UPS trucks, bogan pickups, cheeky squirrels, chipmunks, whack-a-moles, cougars, freaking bears, elk, self-driving cars, e-trucks, and I mean the list is endless, and we'll come back to it in the future. But for now, that's it for California. Next up, we fly to Calgary in Alberta, Canada, and spend a week driving through the jaw-dropping landscapes of the Canadian Rockies. Until then, thanks for watching and cheers.